Anyway, I'm going to talk about some issues I've had backing up my system this week. I One of the ways I back up my system is using something called iDrive, which is a cloud-based backup, and it doesn't want. Let's see. Anyway, hope I don't lose everything here. Let me go back to the beginning here. And anyway, I have about 500 gigabytes on my new computer. I want to that I need to back up. I just got a new computer. My old computer was backed up using iDrive every day. It would update, send anything new, and it worked great. And then all of a sudden, with the new computer, I wasn't backing up because I hadn't set it up. So I decided to set it up, and it would take, for 500 gigabytes, would take a little bit of time to do it through the internet. They have something they call iDrive Express. So let me go through these slides, and let's see. I think I can get rid of this. And there we go. And come on. I'm on the second slide and it's just not loading. So anyway, I can talk about it. There's nothing really important to see. One of the services they have is they send a drive to me, and they did. They sent me a 2 terabyte portable drive. I plugged it into my computer. It has the software on it. I'm supposed to be able to, within a couple hours, back up the 500 gigabytes, put it back in the box, send it to them, and they put it up on the cloud. It didn't work. I would get so far and then it would stop, or it would take forever. I was on their phone. Their tech support was dynamite. I spoke to 3 different people in India, 3 different times. I even let them come into my computer and try to see what was going on. They couldn't determine what it was. They said somebody higher up would let me know. And so I said, okay, that sounds great. There we go. I know what the problem is here. I have to press enter. And there we go. So they have multiple device backup. So I have several computers backed up on there. They have online file sync, and they have the iDrive Expresses where they send me the drive. They sent me the drive. It didn't work. And then they emailed me saying, well, try wiping the drive and trying again. Maybe there's something on the drive, and format it. So I did that. That didn't work any better. So I tried it again, and it started working, and it was backing up. And then I realized, wait a minute, I forgot to tell it to do it to the local drive. I'm sending it to the cloud. So I stopped it, tried to do it to the drive again. It didn't work. So I said, well, okay, I'll just do it to the cloud. Well, I'm about 75 or 80 hours of actual uploading, not counting time in between, a couple of starts and restarts. But I'm about 80 hours in, and I'm within 2,000 files of the 503,000 files that are going to be backed up. So I'm really close to having it, but it wasn't ready for this program, so I couldn't use the program. iDrive has a lot of services. I'm really happy with them. I don't know what happened with their software and the fact that it wouldn't do it to the drive, but they charge, it's free, but you only get 5 gigabytes of storage. Then it's normally about $70 a year. You get 5 terabytes. I think I've got 2 terabytes. I was grandfathered in, so I've got to talk to them about getting the extra storage. I don't need it, but I'm getting closer to it. So I've been really happy with iDrive. This is what it looked like. You can see how it broke down. I am saving my desktop folder, my documents folder, my music folder, my pictures folder, and my videos folder, and you can see how much of each I have. And as of today, it says it's 100% done, but it said that yesterday early, it went from 65% to 100%, and then it's worked for many since then. It continues to do the upload. So their software's got some issues, but it's still working. It just isn't telling me the truth. It must be political. So you can back up your files to the iDrive account directly, or you can back up to your local drive, which, as I said, didn't work. It did the first time when I did it. This is what I'm trying to upload, and you can see it. It was at 53,000 files uploaded and 440 some odd thousand still yet to upload. So the other, and just to finish up talking about backing up, besides doing the iDrive every day, I had it uploading anything new, and it's continuing to do that, or will continue to do that once I get everything up there. And I'll have it set at a scheduled time every day, and it'll go and look and see if there's anything that's been updated, any new files, and it'll put that up on the cloud as well. I also use Acronis True Image. An image makes a complete backup of my whole system as what I would describe as a large zip file, and it has everything in it. I've used Acronis for years. You can do the entire PC. You can do disks and folders. You can do files and folders. I'm sorry, disks and partitions. There's lots of different ways you can do it. This is what their screen looks like. And then you can do it to an external drive is what I do, and I actually have 2 external drives. I swap them out. I try to do this at least once a month. Some people leave it on and connect it all the time. I try not to do that. So if I'm hit by a power surge or something, it doesn't wipe out my backups as well. They also have a cloud backup, which I do not use. They only give you 250 gigabytes free with the account, and they do charge you per computer. So if you got a lot of computers, it's not a cheap way to do it, but I do like having the image backup. And the next thing I'll talk about later on today will be the TV on your device. And let me go ahead and stop the share.
Great. Okay, this is the talk today I'd like to give is staying connected with family and friends. And you'll see where I'm going with this in a moment when you see the slides later on in the presentation. Now, what I want to talk about in connectivity is the different operating systems that we could use to stay connected. And we'll talk about that. And you'll see on the slide here, you see we have Linux. We have, of course, the iPhone and the iPad. We have Windows 10. And of course, we have the Android phone and the Chromebook. So we have different operating systems that we can use. And I think it's important that we think about this for a variety of reasons. Now, you can take any old machine and you can actually load Linux onto it. And I'm going to talk, and John Kennedy is doing a APCUG workshop on this. I've heard John give this talk many times before, but you can actually take any machine and put a distro or a distribution of Linux on it, and it works quite well. On my Linux machine, I have one that I use here in the office, and I run Pop! OS on it. It's an old Windows 7 machine, and I've put a lot of distributions on old machines or new machines too, and I'm always impressed how well Linux works. Linux is free. There's no cost to it. It's extremely secure. The other thing, we call them distros, but a lot of the versions that we put on there, they don't change. So it's not like the things are going to change very much, and they can be installed on an existing computer. And John's going to give his talk on October 28th, and it's an APCUG presentation. And I would encourage you. We'll put the links in the show notes. But he's really interesting. He gives a great talk, and I would certainly I think you should listen to it. I know I've signed up for it, and it should be good. Now I want to talk a bit about, of course, the Android phone and Chromebook. Now, Hewie and I, of course, teach, we're passionate about our Chromebooks, and the Chromebook, of course, works well with an Android phone. Now, I'm going to show you 3 minutes of a video I made 2 years ago. And this is, you're just going to see the last 3 minutes of the video, because the video goes on for about 20 minutes, but I'm going to show you the last 3 minutes. And in the title of the video that I made, it's only a Chromebook, right? And so in the video, you'll see that I'm using 4 virtual windows. I'm using 2 operating systems. I have actually Linux running on this Chromebook as well. And if you look down at the bottom here on what we call in a Chromebook, we call the shelf, you'll see that, of course, there's Firefox, and you'll see over here, there's LibreOffice. Well, these are running actually in Linux. So so I want you just to watch the video, and if you think that a Chromebook is not a replacement for your full desktop computer now, then you'll be surprised at this video. So let me just play this.
We're going to take desktop 2, which of course has my Google Photos in it. We're going to take desktop 3, and I'm doing some work here, and I'm using PowerPoint to create some presentations, but I want to load some files, so I have my Files app open along with my PowerPoint. And in desktop 4, I want to use Firefox for some news clips, and then I've got a word processor open here called LibreOffice. This is their word writer, and it is open in the second pane. So I can switch between these different desktops simply by clicking on the desktop, and it will open it up. But if you come down here and you look at the first desktop, is a dock. So when I click the Docs app, it brings up the first desktop because the Docs app is in the first desktop. I don't have to go to the overview. Now in the second desktop, all I have to do is click on the Google Photos. The third desktop, I just click on the PowerPoint and it will bring up the third desktop. And for the Firefox, I just bring that up, and that's desktop 4. Please note desktop 4. There's something special about it we'll talk about. So here are the 4 desktops that we've been demonstrating. What I wanted to talk about was in desktop 4, is desktop 4, as you'll see on the top, was actually running in Linux. In your Chromebook, if you go to settings, you'll see there is a settings for Linux beta, and if you turn this on, you will actually be able to, it will install Ubuntu, and you will actually have a fully functioning Linux machine. You can run both operating systems at the same time, and you can run Linux applications as well as Chromium applications. In desktop 4, I was running a Linux. Both applications were Linux applications. They were, Firefox was run in Linux, and LibreOffice was run in Linux. So the demo today showed you multitasking with a screen, split screens. I showed you Google Assistant. I showed you the 4 virtual desktops you can have. We ran 2 operating systems at the same time, Chromium and Linux. We had applications from 3 different operating systems Windows, Chromium, and Linux. So if someone says it's only a Chromebook, please show them this video. Have fun with your Chromebook. It's Ron Brown from Silvercom Computer and Technology Club.
So, and that was actually on my original Chromebook that I had, which was the original Samsung one. And it had really limited resources. So I had a lot of fun making that video just to show everyone, you know, Chromebooks are quite a sophisticated machine. Now, moving on, I wanted, staying connected with your family and friends, I wanted just to remind everybody about Google Duo. We're going to talk a little bit about FaceTime in a minute, and I'm going to tell you all about my iPad. But I wanted just to tell you that Google Duo is FaceTime. Google Duo is Google's application, and it runs as the same as FaceTime. And it's a communication application that you can use. It's free. Now, one of the things I want you to look over on the left side of the screen here, and you'll see my good old friend Byron. And I have Byron set up as a, and this is a button with his picture on it. So if I want to talk to Byron, I just hit the picture, the button there, and boom, I talk to Byron. Now, why am I mentioning this is because we're going to be talking about seniors in nursing homes in a minute, and we want to have something that's very simple for them to use. And one of the concepts that you can do when you're setting this up for your loved ones or ones you want to keep in contact with is you can actually just have pictures of people. If they can't remember names, you could simply have pictures of people on a page, and if they clicked on that picture, then boom, they're going to be connected. The advantage of Duo is that it is cross-platform, and it does run on an iPhone and an iPad. So it is not unlike FaceTime, which is just only Apple products. Duo works on multiple platforms that you can use. So just think about that when you're considering how you're going to plan on keeping in touch with your loved ones. All right, now let's talk about iPads. Of course, you all know that I got my iPad. And the reason I got it, of course, was because of a family meeting that my two daughters had with me. And they said, Dad, you and Mom, we need to keep closer communication with you. And they want, you got to buy an iPad. And the reason is, of course, they're all Apple people. And FaceTime, of course, is face-to-face communication. It's free, and it's available on all the Apple devices. Now, this is this is my daughter Leslie Ann, who lives in Adelaide, Australia. We're so proud of her, and those are the two cutest grandchildren that you will ever see in your whole life. She is an ICU nurse at the Royal Adelaide Hospital, and she's now working on her master's. So she's a very, very busy person. The only downfall that she has is she never calls home, and that's because she's so busy. And sometimes we go a couple of months before she calls. So to solve that problem, we decided to, she said, well, you got to get an iPad. So I did. As you all know, I thank you for all the email you sent and about the iPad. And here you'll see, here's my iPad down on the left. So I unboxed the iPad. It came fully charged, which is interesting. Anyway, unboxed it, hit FaceTime, put her number in there, and I hit enter. It rang once, and she picked up the phone, picked up her iPad, and said, "Oh, hi, Dad, you got your new iPad." Well, for a kid that never calls home, that's pretty quick. One click, and I get her. And she says, "Oh," she says, "Dad, we have 6 iPads. Both kids have iPads. There's 2 older ones around." She said, and both her and her husband have an iPad. And so the point that I'm making is that is if you want to connect with your loved ones, you have to figure out what their operating system is and what they're doing in order to make it work. So everybody is happy now because I can stay connected and I have yet another computer, an iPad, right? However, that's not really the reason that I bought the iPad. And this is the reason I bought the iPad. This man, he is so hard to keep up with. And the talk that he did last week on file compression, where he mentioned the Windows, the Apple and the Android version, and that's something that I can't do when I'm making my videos. And Chris Gould and I have talked about this a lot, and she said, "Yeah, Ron, you'll like the iPad because you can." And she does it very well. She always explains the Android and the iOS version as well. So I didn't buy it for my kids. I'm not going to use all you guys that wrote me those snarky emails. I'm not actually going to use it. I love my Chromebook. I love Android. I'm going to keep using that, but I am going to use it for communication, and I am going to use it for talking to my kids. All right, Windows. Windows is a very frustrating operating system, and most people who use Windows end up looking like this, or they might end up looking like this. It can be very, very frustrating. In the Windows operating system, you're going to see that there are daily or weekly updates. These are security updates, which Bob can talk about, and these occur all the time. But there are 2 feature releases that occur usually in March and September, and these are feature releases which are big releases. Now, I wanted to draw your attention to 2 things, two sources that I listen to all the time. First of all, I read Satya Nadella's, he's the CEO of Microsoft, and he wrote a book called Hit Refresh. And in the book, he said, Windows may not be the dominant operating system of the future. And I also listened to Leo Laporte's radio show, and on his show, they do Windows Weekly. And on that, they have 2 very, very skillful tech reporters, Paul Thurrott and Mary Jo Foley. These are probably the most expert people on Windows in tech reporting. And I was listening to them the other day, and they said, for example, there actually is a 10% reduction in Windows users each year. You have to understand that Microsoft, as a large company, makes a tiny bit of the money on Windows. It is really a very, very small part of their whole business. When it's cloud, most of it's cloud now, and so it is. So there's a 10%, and twice a year, the Windows operating system puts out these feature updates, which are brutal, to say the least. Oftentimes, they have been known to lose data, and it often will take 6 or 7 hours to upgrade. So is this an operating system that we're going to really want to trust our loved ones with? So, because if they don't upgrade them, it's not going to work. So here's where I'm going with this. Staying connected with family and friends. I want to show you some pictures of loved ones. You've all seen these pictures of loved ones in nursing homes, right? They're lonely. With COVID, they can't get out. They can't talk to their family, and they can't talk to their friends. I want to show you a few pictures of people who are in this position. And let's just look at this. Look at the loneliness in this lady's eyes. Here's a loved one talking to her, probably her mother, through a window pane. Here's someone hollering from a room up top down at her. And here is, I guess that's her daughter showing her a picture. And here's someone peering in, obviously with something written to show their loved one. So wouldn't it make sense that when, and we are now, this is tech for seniors. We are seniors, and whether it is our wife, or whether it's our spouse, whether it's a loved one that we're caring about, I think we should be thinking seriously about the operating systems we can use so that we can stay in touch. Why doesn't everybody have either an iPad or have a Chromebook that would be so easy to stay in touch with? Why are all those people we just saw, why aren't they smiling like this, as this lady is obviously communicating with her loved one, as are these 2 as well? So we need to prepare ourselves and help seniors as they move on to this part of life where we want to stay connected. Because in the end, what we're really talking about is communication. Are we going to use our computers to look at stocks? Are we going to use them to even look at the news? No, we're going to ultimately want to talk to our loved ones, and that's choosing the right communication tool for seniors. So if you go back and you look at what we're going to do, will it be Linux that I would recommend? Not sure. John's got to do some communicating and John's got to do a good sell on that. I'm not sure yet. Chromium operating system with a Chromebook and Android phone, absolutely. Hook up Duo, easy peasy, easy to do. And of course, iPads with the iPhone and the iPad with FaceTime. But Windows 10 is a fail. And I think that should be pretty darn obvious that you want to stay away from this as far as trying to communicate through Windows 10.
So what I was going to do is to show you some screen captures from Pluto, and there's some great old TV and John Wayne movies, and I don't want that. Come on. Here we go. All right, this was you can watch CNN on Pluto, and it's free, and you can watch it on your phone. You can watch it on your TV. You can watch it on any of the devices like Roku, the Fire Stick. You can watch it on your iPad, on your new iPad, Ron, or you can even watch it on your regular computer. And if I wanted to be fair to both parties, so I showed some Republican sites as well. And here was the movie, one of the Star Trek movies, and here's Airplane. This was all yesterday. So you can watch Pluto on any device. You can watch it on your smart TV. You can watch it on streaming devices, mobile apps, so on any of your phones. And there's desktop apps, or you can even watch it on the web. Friendly is another service. This one isn't free, but it's only about $5 or $6 a month, and it has the 3 Hallmark stations among others. You can watch the Hallmark movies, and one of the things they do is they show old TV programs, some old movies, Laurel and Hardy movies. And if you want to pay for some of these services, you can do YouTube TV. Again, you don't have to cut the cord. And if you want YouTube TV, you're going to have to pay for it. And it's about $75 a month. They just increase their fees. So that may not be one you want, but that's one I have. And you can watch all of these stations locally here in Tampa. If you're in Mesa, these are the local stations that you get on YouTube TV besides all of the other stations that are involved. You can also, the nice thing about YouTube TV is they have an unlimited DVR. It's in the cloud, and so you don't have to have a hard drive. You don't have to have equipment for it. It saves all of your programs out in the cloud, and you can watch them at any time. Or you can watch some of your favorite programs, and they do have a guide that you can look at. These are some of the services that are available. Crackle is free. Distro TV is free. IMDb TV, our old movies that are free. Lowcast is free, but really to be able to use the service, you got to pay $5 a month. It's only in certain areas, but the greater Phoenix area, which includes Mesa, has Lowcast available. Tampa Bay is another. There's only about 20 or 21 metropolitan areas that have it, but you can get everything that if you had the most powerful antenna on your roof, that's what Lowcast will bring it through the internet. Pluto TV is free. Prime Video is free if you have a Prime account with Amazon. Stir is free. Tubi is free. View It is free. Xumo is free. Friendly is $5 or $6 a month, and YouTube TV, as I said, is about $75 a month. Now, Amazon last week announced a new Echo speakers, Ring devices, and smart home tech. The company also took its wraps off new entries in its Fire TV line, including rumored Fire Stick Lite. The new $30 light slots in below an updated version of the Fire TV stick, which will run for about $40. Amazon says the new Fire Stick Lite is 50% more powerful than previous Fire TV stick and includes the most processing power of any streaming media player under $30. The updated Fire TV stick also boasts 50% more power than its predecessor, but packs in more feature-rich remote control with power and volume buttons, among other perks. Both devices should begin shipping. It says next week, and this was last week, so this week they should start shipping. In select regions, and pre-ordering has already started. This is what it looks like. The remote control is bigger than the unit itself. Now, TV Everywhere is something new, also known as authenticated streaming or authenticated video on demand TV. TV Everywhere are apps that allow subscribers of pay TV providers to watch channel content on demand. TV Everywhere apps usually carry the most recent episodes and seasons that channels most popular shows. Before people started cutting the cord, TV Everywhere apps were for those who had cable or satellite subscription. But since cord cutting has gained a massive popularity, most TV streaming services now are offering access. TV Everywhere apps can be found on almost any device, including a PC, a Roku, Android TV, Fire TV, Android, or iOS smartphones or tablets. Using TV Everywhere apps is a simple process. Instructions vary, but basically you go and you register, and when you tell them that you are a subscriber to one of the services, you'll then be able to watch the TV Everywhere. So once the TV Everywhere authenticates your login, you'll get access to all of the available content. Services such as AT&T's TV Now, Fubo TV, Hulu Plus, Hulu Plus Live TV, Philo, Sling TV, VidGo, and YouTube TV. Unfortunately, like most cable packages that come before them, not every live TV streaming service carries channels that offer TV Everywhere access. Place to find out about the streaming services and cutting the cord and so on is Cord Cutter News, and there's the address. And that's my time.